in just a minute. There we go. Alright, nerds. Clearly you want DEFCON badges, so here's all the DEFCON badges that I picked up during my, due to weather, only about a day and a half at DEFCON. I was going to see my grandpa for his birthday too, so that was very exciting. But it meant that I was not able to pick up as many ridiculous badges and ridiculous add-ons as I would have liked. However, in this case, I think that I did really well because I got some of my favorites without picking up too much cruft. You know, your mileage may vary on what cruft is. But look, we've got a DeLorean, we've got a Cheshire Cat. There was a ton of Futurama ones that I decided not to pick up, and Rick and Morty ones especially. Those two were super popular themes for add-ons and badges this year. If you're not familiar, DEFCON badge culture took a huge leap in the last couple of years. You know, first conference badges started getting crazier and crazier, and I have this one from CC Camp from 2015 that's like a fully working software-defined radio console and stuff. They've just been getting more and more intense, and that was just in ridiculous effect this weekend in Nevada, in Las Vegas. So here is the main badge for the con. And I want to point out a couple things here, but we're going to need to refocus so you can actually see it. Here we go. Alright, so this is a sweet badge that was designed by the toy makers, whom I got to meet thanks to our friend Alvaro. So I met Whisker and Addie and Wire, who were the three designers of this badge. And they've done really cool things to their own. For example, Whisker had done his with all white LEDs. Which matched this Cheshire Cat add-on. If you're not sure what add-ons are, it's the shitty add-on protocol. Language warning I should have put up. I'll put it up after this. Designed by Brian Benchoff, who also created the Mr. Robot badge. You'll see all these little sort of 4-hole solder spots for headers, and that's where you can plug these things together. So this is actually the only one that's already installed with a 4-port female header, and this guy has a 4-port male header. So if I turn this on, so cool. Look at that, Mr. Robot badge. That's ridiculous. They had one of these last year, but it didn't have the 12x12 LED grid, which, wait, no, it's 16x16. That's just redonkulous. And basically you plug them together like this. I'm not sure if I actually have it oriented correctly. Yes, I do! Yay! Look at that. So cool. This was given to me by Drew Fustini from Osh Park because apparently he had too much he was carrying around, so he was just like, let me give you the coolest thing that I have. That's my impression of him because this is obviously the coolest one. It's made by Twinkle Twinkie on Twitter, and the other side is all stripy and cool. This is all covered over so that the LED lights only shine through this side. Lots of thought went into this one. It's pretty cool. Very nice. So it also isn't going to short out on any of your other badges, which was definitely a thing. You know, some people are walking around with like 8 badges on with tons of add-ons and like they're just getting shorted out all over the place. And I am not, I am too clumsy for that. In all ways, and so I would walk around with like maybe these attached to my bag. Of course, this is your badge, so it's your access pass to different areas, and there's different stuff that happens if you like push different buttons on it. Especially, this badge is designed as an adventure game, so if you notice, I'll push the little directional buttons here, and the little guy, green light, will like move around. So the way that you sort of leveled this up was largely by connecting these connectors, which I'm not sure if they're a standard connector, but they were kind of weird to work with. They kind of wanted to pop backwards, so you had to be really careful with them. But notice how this is a human, this is a regular person badge. You had a number of different ones, including artist, CFP, call for papers, speaker, press, and other ones. So like if you networked with different types of badges, you could unlock different areas. And yeah, so I networked with a couple of other different ones. Yeah. And then there's other things that you can do too. So for example, someone removed the back adhesive holding the foam tape holding these on and desoldered them. removed it with acetone so that the adhesive came off, and there was a little direction to solder some jumpers between different things, which I haven't looked at yet because I wanted to keep it functional for this video. Someone else gave me a tip that you can use a magnet on part of this badge in order to unlock something else. And I haven't tried that yet. I think it was somewhere around here, but I thought we could give it a try and see if anything happens. If so, we should see something new light up on here. I'm going to hold it like this so that we can all look at once. Alright, I'm going to try this. We'll see. Apparently it has a Hall effect sensor in there. I can't really tell if anything new is lighting up. Can you? I don't seem to have any new access now. I don't see a Hall effect sensor on this side. I see a bunch of LEDs, which is to be expected, and then like a capacitor, and then some resistors for the LEDs. So I'm guessing that the sensor is under here. Oh, that's the chip there. You know, maybe somebody was trolling, you know, maybe that's not a thing you're actually supposed to do. But just to try one more time, this is where the sensor is, or the chip is. So maybe if we try there. Again, may not actually do anything, but maybe it does. Maybe it erases everything. So that might have made some lights go, I don't know. Anyway, if you have an idea about that, you should let me know. And because, like, yeah, as I said, I was there around for about a day and a half. I did not manage to pick up everybody's. I got a speaker and a press badge, I think, and then like a couple others, but definitely not all of them. So that's the main badge. It's super cool. It's an adventure game. Somebody posted that they had successfully completed it, which is really neat, and I'm jealous. Anyway, so again, you can, since this protocol is universal, all you have to do is line up on these pins. There's a little circle to the left of you know, a standard pin, and so you just line those up and attach it, and then your add-on does its thing. In this case, there's no headers attached to the main badge, so it's not going to actually stay stable. But I have my soldering iron warmed up, so I thought I'd solder a few headers onto things, including some of the other add-ons that I got. We did a whole separate video on the Mr. Robot badge, so you can go check that out on Hackster's YouTube channel or our Facebook page. It's Hackster.io on both. And then, you know, Mr. Robot has this guy, which is for holding on a pair of 8-bit sunglasses, the deal with it ones. And then, you know, these 4 ports for whatever you want. Again, those are also a new thing this year, besides the LED grid, because there wasn't such a thing as the shitty add-on protocol last year. I ran into Nate, who's an awesome person from my old hackerspace in Ann Arbor, All Hands Active. Yeah, All Hands Active! And, he gave me this sweet badge that they've got, and I'm excited to put this together at some point. It looks like it's mostly through-hole, so I should be able to easily do that in the office, and that's like big enough surface amount that I can handle it with a soldering iron. Not right now, but soon. Probably do its own little video at some point, but I wanted to show it off because it's got an OLED screen that attaches somewhere along here. Yeah, here. A SPY protocol one. Here's our logo. And this is where you put an ESP8266 chip. Lots of badges this year had an ESP8266, such as this one as well, or an ESP32. Does this thing have any wireless? I'm just sort of squinting down the side of it here to see if I can see anything noticeable. There's also a USB port, which apparently you can do some stuff by plugging it into the USB port on your computer, but this is my work computer, so I didn't feel like attaching it yet. I don't think that they would put anything malicious on the default badge, but you never know. I will say that they're super cool, and yeah, very exciting. Okay. Some people thought that removing the, turning the power off would reset the EEPROM, and therefore you'd have to like go collect all your badge friends again. I was later assured that this is not the case, but we'll find out. There's also this silly one from Drew Alden, one of our former ambassadors, and that also has a port for add-ons. You've got LEDs on the back, which would shine through the eyes. This is some sort of a meme, I suppose, as the children say. He's definitely older than me, but whatever. Here are some shitty add-on templates that you can get on Osh Park. Super cool. And again, they have that circle indicator, as well as they actually have the pins labeled for 3.3 volts, ground, SD, data, and clock. Nice. This one I got from Wire Engineer, but his Wire Engineer on Twitter. This is called Mr. Stash. So for a while, my only two badges were these two guys with mustaches. But this one is got a pretty hilarious story behind it that I'm not allowed to tell you. And it has two haptic motors and a little transmitter and receiver, so if the two of them see each other, then they'll like vibrate and light up in different patterns and stuff. And there's stuff that you can do by like holding on to different touch points on here. In fact, I think if you like do some special thing, then it'll vibrate just by you connecting them. But also you can like put it into programming mode and stuff like that. This one has actual fake fur glued onto it in this like rainbow unicorn color, which is just fantastic. And again, a port for SAOs. This was already featured in our other Mr. Robot video. It's a Tide Pod. You have to eat as many Tide Pods as possible. Yeah. This DeLorean is just glorious. Glorian? No. Okay. We're not going to try that. But I'm going to attempt to connect it to this guy and see what happens. Oh, wait. So the circle is on the 3-volt pin, or the voltage pin. So that means that's far left on there. Okay. Gonna put it like this. Oh, look at that! Isn't that beautiful? It's so good! Apparently this one is also by Drew and a couple of his friends. And apparently the windows were supposed to be exposed copper, and that didn't quite work out. But look how gorgeous it is! It's a DeLorean. We love DeLoreans. In case you're not familiar, we did a whole tour called Hack to the Future. We bought a DeLorean, we let people mod it, that was in 2015, and you can still find the evidence online. In fact, it has its own platform page on Hackster. If you go and search for Hackster's DeLorean on Hackster.io, you can find a bunch of cool hacks that people did with this ridiculous car. And it was terrible, and it broke down all the time, and I still loved it. We don't have it anymore, sadly. DeLorean times. This one is like a little latte of some type. I'm gonna see, I assume it just sort of lights up, but I'm gonna see what happens. And then we also have the This Is Not a Camera by Brian Benchoff. It's got its own website, contextualelectronics.com. Oh no, by Chris Gamble. My bad. He's the one who does contextual electronics, I think. /NAC, not a camera add-on. And let's see, this one is not labeled, but I'm going to assume it goes like this. Oh, and also the headers are a little misaligned. What about like this? No. Wait, I can probably figure this out. You know, it might be missing some parts, but I feel like it should just be able to go with the power and ground and resistor that it has. I am going to bend these around a little bit to try and get them to fit. And maybe stick them in Mr. Robot because he's a little more stable with this header. Okay. Aha! Cool. Neat! And the thing about this one is that it's very bright at night, but I think it was Wire who figured out, or maybe Whisker, figured out that like if you put silver Sharpie over it, then it becomes much dimmer and much more tolerable to look at. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. What else was I gonna? Oh yeah, I was gonna solder the headers onto this guy. Besides that, we have the official Shitty Add-on spec description one, which is Purple Comic Sans, and it says the official font of the Shitty Add-on spec. The only issue that I have with this is that the font that says that is not Purple Comic Sans. It's not even White Comic Sans, so get it together, Benchoff! Alright, let's have a look at some of these things on the internet where you can find them and find more information for yourself. We've got the Toy Makers. They are on Twitter. They used to have their own podcast. It's super cool. The Mr. Robot Badge is also on Twitter. At Mr. Robot Badge. We've got the Game 4000 badge that I just told you about is on GitHub under All Hands Active, and you can find the build instructions on Imager, which I can't pull up because I've blocked Imager for productivity reasons. And you've got the kit parts list, so you can buy it all yourself. Delightful. This is Drew, our former ambassador, who has made a couple of these badges. The shitty add-on spec itself, but bench off. The Not a Camera, super cool. Again, that's by Chris Gamble. You can see it on Mr. Robot. That looks pretty cool, actually. Oh, very good. I was trying to do some kitty ears for Mr. Robot, but I couldn't quite get it together in time. I couldn't find like a good, nice orientation for it, you know? Here's Twinkle Twinkie with the Cheshire Cat badge that is so beloved by the community, as well as the Cromulon badge. This one was really popular, and apparently it came in a bunch of different colors. That's one of the ones from Rick and Morty, but I think that's by someone else, perchance. There was some issue as well, because someone made a wrench-shaped one for the car hacking village, and it turns out that when you go through TSA, that looks like a real wrench, which wouldn't be an issue, except that it's an oversized wrench for what you're allowed to have on a plane. So apparently someone got stopped, and they had to like explain some stuff. I didn't even get stopped, which makes me a little offended. I mean, I got stopped, but it was because I had a banana, not because I had a bunch of electronic badges, and it was in Minneapolis, so I'm surprised. But yeah, okay, whatever. We've got DCZF 505. They made a bunch of really cool badges, including this one with a 4x4 button matrix. I've got a, oh yeah, and this other one and this latte. I've got a little bit of video of that in our previous video about Badgelife, which you can find on our Facebook page as well, and also on our Instagram TV account. It's IGTV. If you have that app, or if you have Instagram, you can find our channel, and we've got some cool stuff up there, including a previous roundup of a bunch of badges. What else have we got on here? We've got Osh Park, Bench Off's page. You can find your own Purple Comic Sans add-on, as well as a few other ones. You can't just put memes on a PCB and call it a DEFCON badge. That's where you're wrong, kiddo. Yeah, and he's got like a bunch of things where you can make a bus bar so that you can add even more add-ons onto your badge. Yeah. So there's more stuff, as I said, on our Instagram, not just on the TV account, but also like this big weird thing. Like, check this out. Someone allowed me, or it was Drew, he invited me up to the badge suite, which was sweet. And there were a bunch of really cool stuff that I didn't see anywhere else at the con, like this humongous, it was like seriously like 8 inches at least of giant bug with a huge LED matrix on it. Super cool. This one, which was a biohazard badge that basically told you when you were getting exposed to too much UV, and it lit up and stuff. This one, which Chris Gamble was wearing, had it's just like a huge Zeppelin. I mean, I guess it's a blimp, because it's the Good Fear, whatever. Also an LED matrix. So many LEDs at this con. This is a previous year's badge from the Crypto and Privacy Village. Very beautiful, and it had a bunch of stuff that it would do if you touched it in different ways, and like, it's so pretty. I'm really jealous about that one. It's so pretty. As well as this other one by the DCZF 505 people. It's just some kind of beautiful key thing that I'm sure is some kind of reference that I'm not getting, but it looks just beautiful. So there's all this other coverage you can see. Oh yeah, plus the Hack the Planet one. We were at the Monero village for a brief while, and they had this redonkulous badge that had an 12 by 12. They say it's 12 by 12, but it looks bigger than that. RGB LED matrix that you could play video on. And they did! This is Zero Cool going, hack the planet! In hackers, you know? Wow. And, yeah, in the IGTV little video, we've got some more... Oh, yeah, you can find it here, under the tab. Yeah! Some more stuff that it did, including, like, showing different emoji and stuff. You could show your emotions through it. It was so cool. I want to show you more stuff in real life. What do we got? What do we got? Oh yeah, I was going to solder the thingy onto here. So, you know, you put female headers onto your badges, like so. I'm going to put it on the DEFCON badge, actually, because that's the one that doesn't have any attachments yet. So I'm just going to flip that over. Zoom out a little bit so you can see, or focus. There we are. Gonna... Hey, how's that not on? Oh, I unplugged it before I left. Okay, well, in just a couple of minutes we'll be able to solder stuff together. And then I made a bunch of these little 2x2 headers, which is super easy to work with. This one came actually with 2 1x2 headers, but those are kind of a pain to solder on. So I have some strips of headers that are, you know, 2 in a row next to each other, and you can get those really easily and just like solder it on like this. So we'll do those 2, and then we'll stick them together, and then we'll be happy. So yeah, here's the little proto guy. And I couldn't find any like nice way to orient this that would work with the guy. So the nice thing about these proto boards is that this central proto area is not connected to the bus parts at the sides. So I could sort of orient it. Oh no, I couldn't orient it with I could, yeah. I could just decide that the pins are going to be different as long as they're just like all rotated 90 degrees or 180 or something, and then like put this on in a different orientation. But I don't see a nice way to give him like little cat ears or whatever with this shape. That'll have to be for later. I'll just like make it from scratch. All right, let's see if we've got solder yet. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Okay. I'm going to just come in here and do this. Go on there. There we are. A little bit more on here. Here we go. And then this latte guy. Real quick. Ooh, I have to be careful not to get any of the other exposed copper. Of course, I'm gonna wash my hands after I do this, like a good hardware hacker who doesn't want to get lead poisoning. You can use lead-free solder, but I don't like how it works. Okay, I managed to do that without shorting anything. Beautiful. Turn you back off again. Let's see if this works. Get out of here, Stash. I kept this one in a plastic bag the whole time because I was afraid that I would ruin his little stash. And I had too many other badges on that I didn't want to jangle around. Rah! Rah! It gives it a little vibration when you first turn it on. Well, okay. Let's put this little guy in. There was a lot of question about people accidentally putting the batteries in the wrong way, which is very unfortunate. And, you know, you should be able to avoid doing that with relative ease, but... So I thought this was how the circles lined up, but maybe that's wrong. No, that's gotta be right. Maybe one of the pins isn't correct or connected enough. I shouldn't solder on it with the power connected, but I'm gonna be bad for just a second. So what I suspect with this is that there is a little spot for a resistor, and that's not actually on there. So my guess is that that's just not connected. So I'm gonna be, again, kind of bad, And instead of digging out a surface mount resistor that may or may not be the correct value, I'm just going to spludge some solder across the two pads and hope that it works. We shall see. Hey, cool. All right. Little, really little kind of bad hack here. Wait, did it change colors? Whoa! So fancy! They've got one of those auto color changing LEDs. That's so cool. Yeah, so since there was no resistor on the back here, I decided to just put some solder across there. Because, like, it probably won't get overloaded with 3.3 volts. Maybe, I don't know. But it works, so yay! It made the connection. And now I have a light up latte. That's so good. Light up? Latte? No. Okay, so that's our roundup. We've got Cheshire Cat by Twinkle Twinkie. We've got Mr. Robot by Brian Benshoff with the sweet LED grid. We've got these proto boards that I'm going to make into something. We've got purple comic stands. We've got the official DEFCON badge. We've got this latte add-on from DC Zia 505, the Tide Pod from Benshoff. Eat as many Tide Pods as you can. The sweet DeLorean from Reanimation XP, who is also known as Drew Alden. We've got the Game 4000 from All Hands Active, also known as Nate. Super cool. We've got Mr. Stash from Wire Engineer, aka Wire. We've got the This Is Not a Camera add-on from Chris Gamble, who is also the creator of the Amp Hour podcast and does a really cool PCB introduction design course for free. Super neat. And then we've got this weird guy from Drew also. And then finally somebody, this isn't a PCB, but I thought I'd throw it in here. Oh! The latte came with an LED, a resistor. Ha 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 ha. I just saw that for the first time. I'll probably have to put that on before I use this again, whatever. Yeah, somebody invited me to Hardware.io. It's like a wearables and etc. conference in Italy, I think, in September. Oh, the Netherlands. I totally lied. Okay, so September 13th and 14th in The Hague, in the Netherlands. Hardware security conference and training. Super exciting. We totally stand for hardware security. This is a really important thing if you're designing anything. And so if you're in the area in September, go check it out. I probably won't make it, but I might. Who knows? Yeah. So registration is open now. Go check it out. Thanks for the invite. Sweet. Hope you enjoyed. I'll put some links to this in the description of this video. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and we will see you soon.